We shared much of the same base. They understood what membership organizations were like. We did a lot of work with labor. But yeah, just you know, to be totally clear, I think the relationships are still transactional. I don't think we're talking about real alliances and partnerships with most community-based organizations and most labor unions at this point. And I could go on at some length about that, but I'm not seeing it. And what I keep up with, and I do keep up with this pretty closely, I'm not seeing an embracing of what the real resource of community-based work is. And I'm not seeing a change in the organizing model. If organized labor, and I spent a lot of time in citizen wealth and in other ways talking about and writing about this. And we build workers' associations in India and a number of countries where we work among low-wage, informal workers particularly, which is where I think the greatest opportunity exists. But look, in the private sector alone, we have 104 million unorganized workers. So whatever it is traditional labor unions are doing, NLRB, non-NLRB, corporate, whatever, it's not working. At the point that there are 7.2 private sector union members and 8.2 million unemployed workers in the statistics, I mean, they don't make headlines in the New York Times big enough to say, you know, loser, you know, something's not happening, what are you doing to change this? But this is what labor is doing, but instead of coming to community-based organizations and talking about how you can build, because the biggest accomplishment in the labor movement in our generation of work, and it's been a sorry legacy that organizers like me have to show for our work, is the organizing of informal workers. And that's home healthcare workers and home daycare workers. Both of those efforts were led by ACORN and the kind of organizing models that we forged with our labor unions, United Labor Union, Local 880, and Local 100 when they went into SEIU or whatever. And there are more than 500,000 members who have joined labor unions, AFSCME, SEIU, AFT, CWA, whatever, because of that work. But the takeaway, as I hear the expression, the takeaway from that was not, damn, let's do more of that. Let's go after more of those workers. Let's really build those alliances. There's obviously some secret sauce that they must know. No, the takeaway was who, what, you know, there's no learning from that. And I don't see, I had a number of meetings with people putting together the FFE stuff that SEIU is doing. Well, they sound like they're still doing it here. They're not doing it in most places. I guess it's all Obama all the time now. But you know, when they asked me, when I had the conversations, when I did the memos or whatever, when you talk about a real partnership and how you would meld the model to build mass organization in those constituencies, you're not feeling the love. So it's a good alliance, but it's a transactional political alliance at this point, which is vital for us at every level, but it's going to have to change. We're doing a project starting in Toronto where we finally have traction to do this kind of different model. And one of our partners is the steelworkers. And the problem, and this is going to be epidemic in the labor movement, is the last 3 years the steelworkers were ready to do this partnership on this organizing drive. But each time they come to their July executive board meeting for the Canadian Steelworkers, they lose another unit. Some company will go under, some mill will shut, 10,000, they don't have the dues. So they have to ratchet back, try to save that, bundle it together, and look at it next year. Well, I hate to even have the conversation about how many unions are left in the United States that would even be able to think about putting together the resources to create a new organizing model.
Yeah, that's fine. ACORN was, of course, the most powerful community organization. I think it was easy for people to pay dues, to give that.
Well, I wish I had every organizer ever worked here right with me now. I'm with you. It was easy.
It was, but at the same time, the organization itself was doing a lot of things for the people. Now, I think, I would love to see an organization grow like that, but I don't think that we could ever get the people again to trust that, yeah, you can go into my account every month and take $10. Yeah, you can do that. But I fell in love with Acorn years and years ago because I always had that anger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first heard about it and the marches and things like that they were doing, and I just felt like, well, now somebody's doing something, you know, so I can get in that and help do something. But today, I don't think the organizations are doing for the people what Acorn did for the people.
That's right, girl.
So I don't know how they can ever get back to a point where people would be glad to join that organization
Looking out.
and to give that money.
That's right.
You know, that you would not have to go to government to, you know, get grants and stuff like that. How do you ever get back to an organization like that?
Well, I don't have a glib answer for you on this one. I think where you're painfully right is, I think we stopped asking people to do everything they needed to do, and that created, as we got larger and larger, some sort of gap. I don't think any of us realized it. I'm not saying it was bad faith. I'm not saying we were inept. I think we were as good as the average bear at doing this work, but there became a gap in people understanding how the organization worked, so that when we were attacked, the membership didn't necessarily know they would have to get into the streets and get, you know, in front of that office to protect it like women understand about a Planned Parenthood center now. And we obviously lost the ability to reach out for our members in that sort of fundamental way, from what I could tell, at the point that, you know, they were so under attack in this, you know, O'Keefe thing. So the lesson has to be, and here's what I still believe, there's no institutions, nobody believes anymore in Congress, nobody believes in business, nobody believes in unions, nobody believes in the church, nobody believes, I mean, I had a slide up that said institutions suck, and everybody, yay! You know, unfortunately, people don't believe in institutions. But here's what I think is still encouraging for us as organizers, for us as leaders in the community as you are. People still believe in their neighbors. People still believe in their communities. So you still have the basic foundational blocks. People still believe in themselves. So if you can put those things together, and it has a program that feels organic and natural to people, I think you'd be surprised. Don, I know I promised you 3 or 4 people ago, but
You know, as you're talking, I'm dreaming. You know, we
can see the mountain.
A lot of people might not understand what you're really saying. It was a tough deal to start an organization. We started at 2122 Fairmont Avenue.
Yeah.
We had one little light in the ceiling, and we had to start off begging for rent to pay that organization. Everything that was ever done, the older people told us, don't take credit for it, just do it. See? And you gotta remember, everything that Acorn ever did up to recent years was like, we did it because the people wanted it done. When we started ringing doorbells, our own people wouldn't open the door.
Yes.
We had to go to Rosemont College and beg the young white students to come in North Philly and ring doorbells so that they could get the help that was needed. See? So I mean, when you talk about organizations, we're blessed. We went through it. Today, it costs a lot of money to operate an organization. I know that because I just pray and hope that the organization just finds the funding, and a lot of it's not there. But give you an example. Remember Lee Up? Remember all that work you did on Lee Up? We didn't get credit for that. We gave it to a mayor that we ran.